Greetings from Yangon, Myanmar, and maybe you guessed from the denaka on my face where I was. It's definitely a traditional way that women look or wear things here in Myanmar. It's supposed to protect from the sun. So I also just think it looks kind of cute. But anyway, today I'm talking to a couple here in Yangon. They started the very first yoga studio and vegan restaurant here. Their story is fascinating. They had really fancy jobs. They left them. Also, I have something special for my Patreon subscribers. Now, every month I'm going to do a free giveaway for one of my subscribers. And this week I found a really cool painting at a temple in Bagan. Stay tuned to the end of the video. I'm going to show you the painting and give you all the details. So, that's coming up. So I'm super excited because today I'm here talking with this awesome couple that I met here in Yangon. By the way, totally by chance, I came to this place just to get some vegan food and I was like, oh my God, wait, who are these people? And I need to know them and find out more about their story. So now I'm sharing this with you. And it's Jojo and Jerome that I'm here talking to. And they left their fancy, high-paying banking, consulting jobs to actually be here in Yangon and start a business. So like, I think it's like the dream is to have these well-paying, fancy jobs. You were in London. Why did you leave that behind to come here?
Well, it's true, actually. I have to say my mother was really disappointed because I'm from an immigrant family. So my family came from China to the U.S. when I was 4 years old, and that's all they ever wanted is for me to get college education, work in a high-paying job, live in New York City. So my mother really can't understand how I gave that up to come back to what she considers a third world country. But I think there was a point when I woke up and thought, going to work today is going to be the worst day of my life. I think we've all had those days, but I think that was coming up more and more repeatedly living in New York. It was super high stress. And then I moved to London thinking that that might be kind of the change that I needed to reinvigorate my my work ethic, but absolutely not. Every day was the worst day of my life. And so at some point we said, we need to change. We really need to make a change.
You guys, I can relate to this on so many levels. I think we all can. And that is a really sad feeling. Like, when you don't enjoy going to your job and when going there is literally like for the paycheck. I mean, that's why I was going. It was like, well, I need to eat. So I guess I have to keep going. But then you found this new path out and this path somehow led you to Yangon. And you said you're from Chinese heritage. So maybe Asia is sort of subconsciously in your mind. But why did you choose to come here in particular?
Well, I think when we were thinking about moving and where to go, so Asia was definitely one of the regions, or the region we wanted to come to. And we looked at many places. So we looked at Taiwan, Thailand, Vietnam, kind of all the countries in Southeast Asia. But I think very quickly we realized that, well, all those places are pretty developed already. And you know, go to Taiwan, like, well, it's not so different from the States or from Europe, and they don't need us. I mean, Thailand's kind of the same thing. Vietnam, it's on track as well. So we thought that we want to go somewhere where I guess their skill sets and experience can be somehow useful because maybe they don't have it in enough quantity in that place. And also we came to Myanmar in 2012 to visit one of our friends who is doing a corporate job here.
And I said to her at that point, I said, I can't believe you live here. You can never live in this city. And then a year and a half later, we arrived.
So then what changed your mind? How did you go from, oh my God, like, where am I, to, oh, I'm home?
Oh, that's a hard question. I mean, how do we make that decision?
Yeah, or just like, what, was there any catalyst? I know that sometimes these decisions come about slowly, but like if you showed up and you were like, but then you were like, yeah.
There was a plan. It didn't turn out at all as we expected, but we wanted to open a gelato business in Myanmar. That's the plan.
Yeah.
Grandmaster plan.
So from a gelato business, somehow you got to this yoga studio and vegan cafe.
It's pretty much the same thing.
Well, the gelato business really just came from being on holidays in Italy and eating gelato every day and saying, well, you know, there really wasn't any when we were here. And we're like, it's the right climate all year round.
That makes sense.
So somebody's got to do
business
it.
plan.
So wait, and now I'm kind of disappointed because like I want some gelato.
Somebody else is doing it.
Oh, okay.
Well, so what happened is that we came here for 2 weeks before leaving our jobs, and we looked around, went to meet a lot of people, talked to a lot of different business people, and the conclusion of the 2 weeks here was like, this is the worst idea ever. Let's not do it. I mean, electricity doesn't work. How do you keep your ice cream? Importing machines is really expensive. So there's a lot of rent is crazy. So there's a lot of things that no way. But I think we both came out of the 2 weeks here kind of feeling what people were telling us. Like, yeah, the place is exciting. It's opening. I mean, you open the newspaper, everyone's talking about Myanmar. There's new opportunities. So like whoever has the kind of the guts to come here and do something. And so we came back to London. We said no ice cream, but we both kind of pretty much right after gave her notice and like, all right, we're going to Yangon. We're going to figure out something. And so that's the plan.
Wow. Yeah, the plan was really we ship our container of stuff and then we're stuck there for a while. Yeah. So we love the courage. So far.
You guys are fearless. Now, by the way, for those of you who don't know, some of the things we're talking about. So Yangon, it's different, than in the West. So when they say electricity is going out, this is a real thing. Like I'm staying at a hostel right now and the power went out for well over an hour yesterday. It's quite common. I think every day the power can go out. These are sort of challenges. So we talk about starting a gelato business, but maybe that's not a great idea because the power could go out. No, it will go out, by the way. Chances are it's a matter of when does it go out and for how long. So when starting a business somewhere like this, it's definitely a real concern that you have to think about, which wouldn't be the case, let's say, in Manhattan, in London, things like that. Now, did your family also freak out when you told them what your plan was?
A little bit. A little bit. I mean, I have I guess a pretty traditional family, and my dad was a banker, my sister is a banker, my great-granddad was a banker. So I was a banker, and living the well-paid job where you have your kind of, ways all, where you're going, and you'll be fine in life. It was a bit of they were like, no, you sure? and I think maybe because Jojo, indeed, she comes from China that was poor at the time and then went somewhere really rich. For me, it's a bit different because I went from a place like Europe that is more developed to here. And I guess my parents sort of understood a little bit okay, there's an opportunity there and maybe that makes sense, even though it's a little crazy. And I would much rather you stay next to me so I can, have you every Sunday for roast. But
right.
Yeah, maybe no one has...
Yeah, my parents were like, we sacrificed everything to give you the life that you now are living in New York. Why would you give that up? But I think that now they've come and they've seen and they're proud of us. Yeah, right. I think that they're really happy that we've made choices that make us happy.
Right. Yeah. It does seem like a lot of time families, there's a bit of a learning curve, right? Whenever you're doing something different and off that traditional path, sometimes it just takes people realizing that everything's okay. Because I think that's usually the concern with parents, right? They just want to know, you're okay, you're going to be able to survive, you're eating, right? You're far away, but everything is sort of okay. So then how did you then get from the gelato, okay, that wasn't a good idea, but how did you decide on the yoga studio and that path?
The yoga studio was really an organic experience, actually. Before I came to Yangon, I did my 200-hour teacher training, and not because I planned to open a studio, just because I'd been practicing yoga for about 8 years at that time, and it just seemed like a really nice 3 weeks to spend before moving here, because you never get that chance, right, to spend 24 days on holiday otherwise when you're in a corporate job. So I came here and started teaching just to friends, and really started with one class a week, 4 or 5 people showing up, and then it got full, so I added another class, and it was at a friend's apartment for a while. And at some point there was 4 classes going on a week, and then she had to move out of her apartment, so we didn't have anywhere to go. And so I just said, this is the time. I actually had to really bully him into it. He was not on board with it. Because at that point there was 3 yoga teachers in Yangon, and they all agreed to come and teach, but that's not, we started with 5 or 6 classes a week, and some days we get 4 or 5 people in, and now we have 2 studios, about 400 students coming in every month, and it's awesome, it's amazing. But we were really the start of that community, so wow. Yeah, it took time, but it was very much an organic experience.
It's inspiring because you really are such pioneers here. When you're saying how Yangon just opened up and you were the first. I mean, I think it's really courageous to kind of be that first. It's easy to be the 10th person, who's doing something, but to be that initial, I'm wow, it's very, very impressive.
But I think that a lot of people say that, they're you're brave, but when you feel every day you wake up and it's the worst day of your life, it's not bravery. It's perseverance, right?
Right.
You got to do it for yourself. You got to do something different.
That's true. I think that's a good point. And now, being here in Yangon, though, there are definitely specific challenges that you guys are facing. And we talked about some of this before we started, and like things that you have to do here that maybe someone else wouldn't have to do. Like you were telling me a little bit about the process of paying bills, paying taxes. Like, tell them what this is like, because I find this hilarious, actually.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one of the challenges here, is that everything is still very much like manual, and you need to go in person to do everything. And yeah, paying taxes is a bit of an experience. You need to go and see your tax officer, get a piece of paper, provided that the electricity works and you can print it out, because sometimes not the case. Then you take that piece of paper, you go to the bank, like a really old school bank with like the teller behind the like all the kind of the gate. And you like hand him a pack of cash, literally like a bag of cash, because the currency is the biggest note is
it's about
like
$7. It's the highest.
Right.
So you like bring your big bag of cash, give the cash, the guy give you a piece of paper, you go back to the first guy, stamp it, here you go. And that's taken 1 day in your months to do this. It's
Every
fairly
month.
inefficient. Yeah.
And electricity, paying that is also not necessarily, you're not paying online here, by the way. There's no automatic bill pay. Mm-mm. You're not setting this up with your bank in advance. This is, again, a process.
So yeah, a lot of things are very time consuming, but I think also Myanmar is amazing in a way, because people here find ways to make things a little bit easier. And yeah, we have a lady who pays the bill for us at the tax office. And so the people here are very...
They're all like hackers.
Yeah,
in
hackers.
A way,
I think that's a good way to describe Myanmar people. For everything, like if you think before it was really hard to import a car. So people would use car for like 50 years. Whereas, in the States, you change your car every 10 years,
right?
or 5 years. And so they would have to like make parts because they couldn't get the parts. So people are just really good. Here you don't throw anything away. You like, your kettle is broken, you bring it to the guy, you're going to pay $2, he's going to fix it. Like people are, they're hackers.
They're resourceful.
Yeah, resourceful.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And it also teaches you a level of patience that I think, coming from New York, actually I really didn't integrate into London, because actually I had this like very New Yorker mentality. What, you telling me I can't get my burrito delivered at 2 a.m.? The dry cleaning's not going to come and deliver for me at 7 in the morning. At 5 o'clock on Friday night, I'm like banging on the dry cleaner's door. And so even coming from New York to London, I felt that kind of like that fast pace of New York really coming to a head in my lifestyle. And coming here, you could spend a whole day paying one bill, right? You could spend, it's really amazing how it teaches you that you got to take everything one step at a time, and teaches you a lot of patience. Yeah.
And then do you feel like, because I imagine that might help you sort of with the yoga practice as well, because I think sometimes I feel this desire to like rush through things, to get things done. I'm supposed to be here when I'm already here. And, but I feel like yoga is sort of about being present and not sort of rushing through the poses and taking the breath. Like, do you find that kind of connection? Does it help you with that practice, or is it just, I don't know, two separate things that you're dealing with here?
Absolutely. It's such a synergy. I think that's also why the community has grown so quickly here, is that people realize that it's what they're doing out there really translates into what you think on your mat, right? And how you approach your practice also translates into how you can find some peace and calm in your day, because it's chaotic. You don't know what's going on. People are... Yeah, I think that like you're kind of walking around and you like stuff is getting thrown at you, like physically sometimes, but also just like things you don't expect. And so I think the yoga practice is about being able to move with that flow. And so, of course, I think that it's natural that people really resonate with this practice here.
Right.
Yeah.
And now you guys are newlyweds starting this out, like what is that like, being a new couple, but also building a business together in a foreign country. It seems like it could maybe bring you super close together and have you guys like...
Bit of both.
Yeah. Our like pillow talk is like, what do you think we should negotiate this the salary to be? Yeah, I think... maybe you take this one. What do you think?
Delegation.
Well, I think for us, because we're doing all the businesses together, having someone you can trust 100% and rely 100% is really great, because whatever business you're doing and you're taking partners on board, it's always been more difficult because you never know. So having that person, you're like, yes, I know we're like on the same page, and we both have each other's interest in line. That's one thing you can sort of put aside. You don't have to worry about it. Then I think we both bring something very different to the table. I mean, I'm still the bank guy. I did the financial model for the yoga studio. I said it was a terrible idea, but then she convinced me it was a good idea. But I do like tax
she's the consultant, so she's
and,
negotiating. She's convincing you.
But so we have different qualities that I think both works very well for the business. But then inevitably we sometimes disagree on things, and we do have fights. And I mean, I think when you run a business, you always disagree about things, and the fact that you're disagreeing with the person you're married with is also a bit different. But I think, again, being here, learning to be more patient, doing yoga also I think really helps us to, I think, try to be better in a relationship, and take a step back when you feel like things are getting a little bit too heated, and okay, let's take a step back. I'll think about it again, and this person she's my partner, but she's my wife as well, and okay, we need to do things differently. And I think that's how we do it.
I mean, living in Yangon is a bit like relationship boot camp. We were saying that there is a business model to be had of bringing in engaged couples to do like a 1-week stint in Myanmar and deal with the power outages and the water not working and the traffic and the chaos and all the gray area, and just seeing like how you interact with each other, because I think living here for 1 year in a way is like 5 years of like different challenges that you might face if you're living in a different space.
It's not so comfortable. There are definitely things that you have to tackle together as a team. Like, I mean, listen, walking across the street in Yangon can be a challenge. So starting a business for sure is like a whole nother thing. So like, do you have any like final advice for people who are maybe thinking about starting a business here, or even just planning to come? Words of encouragement or advice for anyone, or words of caution? I don't know.
Well, I think that what's amazing about Yangon is that the community is small enough that everyone's super supportive. And if you have the determination and the patience for it, people will be here to support you and encourage you. And I think we've seen that really firsthand, that everybody's willing to share their experiences here because they know how tough it is. But I think you've got to really expect that it's not going to be like starting a business in the US or in. You've got to be a plumber, you've got to be an electrician, you've got to be your own accountant, your own tax person. These things just don't exist here in the same degree.
Any regrets on leaving behind your, fancy, glamorous job?
It's hard to forget business class for sure. But no, I mean, at the end of the day, I think, I think for most people who are starting their own business, like being your own boss and making decisions that have real impact on your business rather than being the little cog in the wheel. This is sometimes scary, but this is, I think, very satisfying in many ways. And starting something where you employ people, and I think we're trying to be also good employers, so you're kind of impacting people around you and creating a community here is also really nice.
And getting to wear yoga leggings professionally. That's pretty nice.
And by the way, if you're here, she has the cutest yoga leggings that I've seen. Like, I was back there, like, looking at the leggings. Oh my God, they're adorable. So yes, to be able to wear them professionally is certainly a win.
I'm missing my fancy shoes, but.
So if you are thinking about this, book a flight. I don't know. You can come visit, come check out Yangon yourself. You can visit this place and see all these fabulous things. There's so much to do and experience. So I'm so excited I got to talk to you guys today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love this space here. So there's more to come.
Do it, guys.
Do it. I really enjoyed talking with Jojo and Jerome. Honestly, from sitting with them for so long, or just for that amount of time, they have such a really nice community of expats here in Yangon. I almost wanted to stay, I wanted to be a part of the team longer term, but, visiting is also nice. So, for my Patreon subscribers, if you sign up for Patreon, any level of donation before Saturday, which is the 30th, you can enter to win this painting that I bought in one of the temples in Bagan, which is another city here in Myanmar. And I just loved it. These are stone paintings, so you can frame this, put it on a wall, give it to a friend, whatever you want to do. So every month, by the way, if you watch this video and you're like, oh my God, I missed it, the time has passed, I can't win anything. Not true. Every month I'm actually going to do these giveaways because really I was finding so many cool things when I'm traveling, but because I'm always on the go, I can't really buy things for myself because then I just have to carry it around for months and months at a time. So I'm going to buy things and give them to you. Sign up for my Patreon at any level. You'll be entered to win, and then every month after the first, I'm going to do a little drawing, and I'll film that too so you can see and see if you're going to win. So maybe this painting, maybe another one. Let's see what happens. Thanks for watching.